4.5 million kids in the UK are overweight.
She's not very active at all. She gets too tired.
Britain's facing an epidemic.
He's in such a desperate situation.
But is it nature or nurture?
I feel awful. It's basically my fault.
Too Fat to Toddle, Tuesday at 9.
Ben and I got to talk filth now.
Yes, we are.
New research claims a computer keyboard can host more harmful bacteria than an average loose seat.
It's so hideous, isn't it? How clean is your PC? Forget Kim and Aggie. Here's Kim and Michelle.
They're in your office and they're lurking everywhere. No, not the office Romeo, germs. In fact, your keyboard could house more harmful bacteria than the average toilet. Nothing else for it, there's only one person who can take on these nasty little fellas. Yes, it's the Queen of Clean herself, Kim Woodburn.
Just be stopping all that. Put it down. Now, eating at your desk, you're going to have saliva. You probably have a bit of wax from the ears, dear. Now watch, watch. It does not harm the computer at all. And that's done, my dear, in about 30 seconds.
A new report on computer cleanliness has come up with some rather disturbing results. It found 1 in 10 people never clean their keyboard. Some have 150 times more bacteria than they should. That's 5 times filthier than a toilet seat. The advice is not to munch your lunch at your desk. And remember, forgetting to wash your hands is unforgivable.
How many of us do? That's the question. How many of us do?
Well, I'm afraid I always do.
You do,
for
I know
goodness
you're
sake. It's just, but it is quite revolting. I love the fact she said it doesn't harm the computer.
Indeed.
Computer going completely berserk.
Well, that's the problem,
her.
which I shall raise now with Kim's other half, Aggie McKenzie, who's with us right now. First and foremost, were you surprised by the results of this?
Not in the slightest, no. I mean, it's obvious to clean a loose seat, isn't it? But you can't see bacteria, and people forget all the time that they're sitting there in front of millions of them.
Yeah, and as your distinguished colleague made plain, you can clean the computer, but I am naturally resistant to do so, because I think I'm going to louse it up if I do what she just did on that little tape.
Well, you might just, you have to be quite gentle with it, but no, it's what you do. If it's full of kind of bits of food, you can use a can of compressed air. It's amazing how much stuff you can get out of it. Unplug the keyboard, turn it upside down. It's a bit like a toaster sometimes, actually. You can get so much stuff out of it. And then to get rid of all the germs, use like an alcohol wipe over it, just very slightly dampen. Don't sort of wet it or anything.
But you saw what happened to the screen there when she wiped it. Oh, the whole thing's going berserk. It's like cleaning the phone. I'm reluctant to do that as well, because it makes all sorts of strange noises and I can't stop.
Don't be frightened, because you could get very ill. I mean, particularly in a place where people are sharing keyboards and mouses.
Yeah.
And, you know, as Penny said, a lot of people are not that hygienic when they're going to the loo. And, you know, also, you know, people are coughing and sneezing. And bacteria live for a very long time.
And I just wonder, in this office maybe, or any office anyway, just how often they are cleaned.
I'm sure that ours are hardly ever cleaned. The amount of times that you sort of you see bits of detritus down there.
Yes.
Yes, that's right. It's not good. It really isn't. It's just something to be aware of, actually.
I suspect a lot of people would get the same worrying results if their kitchen worktops were inspected with such vigour as well.
Yes, definitely. Particularly if you live in a house with a cat and you allow that cat to wander along the worktop. OK, right. So think about it. They're coming out of their litter tray. What have they done in a litter tray?
They don't have a litter tray, but they're coming in from the garden.
Oh, they're doing it in the neighbour's garden. Yes, right, I've got one of them.
Yeah, all cats do that.
And then they, you know, tottering very beautifully along the kitchen worktop, and it's like, hold on a minute, you can't see it, but believe me, it's there. That fecal bacteria is there in its millions.
But try and stop them, that's the problem. Good to see you. Thanks very much, Dee, for being with us. Are your kitchen and your computer sparkling clean?
Absolutely, at all times. Whoops.
But also, Aggie's brought up something. Is this the plural of mouse when it's one of those mouse? Is it mouses or mice? You see,
something to
think about.
It doesn't seem right to say you mice, does it?
No, it doesn't. I don't want any of those.
Let's get the weather now. Here's Andrea. You call it a moose.
A moose, hey.
And the plural of mooses. Mooses, is it?
That's it. Plural of mouse is moose.
Okay. Oh, now that you can see, we've got